How's it going, everybody? This is Alexis, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What is up, Will?
What up, what up?
Welcome, everybody, to Story of the Fight. My name's Ramiro. That's my boy, Will. This is where we talk all things mixed martial arts. And today, boy, do we ever have martial arts to talk about. A lot going on this weekend. So, today, we're going to be covering Friday fights. We're going to be covering one Fight Night 21. And we're also going to be covering the UFC event over this weekend. They were back at the Apex, right?
Back at the Apex, UFC Vegas 90, UFC Apex Infinity. They have so many.
Can't even keep track. Hey, but before we start getting into all that, Will, just want to remind everybody to please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, goes a long way. If you like talking mixed martial arts, you're going to like subscribing here. Tell your mama, tell your papa, tell your auntie, tell your uncles, everybody that likes mixed martial arts. But they might not like watching, but they like listening. Will, where can they find us?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are found. Social medias, go to storyofthefight.com. It'll list our Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, Twitch. It'll list all our links, storyofthefight.com. It'll also link to our merch store if you want to get a t-shirt or a hoodie.
None of us are wearing our merch today.
I am. It's just underneath this.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're really bad at this.
Well, can't wear it every time.
We're bad at selling merch.
We don't make any money off of it, so...
No,
but really if you want to rock it, it's there.
Awesome, dude. We're great salespeople. But yeah, so again, UFC Vegas 90, right? We can go ahead and get right into it. UFC Vegas 90, we had Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis. That was the main event. Going into this, not gonna lie, Will, I saw the card and I was like, this might actually be a fun card. It was stacked with the names that were on the card. I was like, it has
Apex standards,
some potential.
Apex standards are pretty low. So going into this one, shout out Anonymous. Thank you for joining us. I know you're going to be interested in that one talk that we're going to be getting to later.
Anonymous. Hip hop Anonymous.
Hip hop. Hey, shout out Ganskow. Got the Story of the Fight.
Hey, what up, Ganskow? I love it.
Quality, is it not, Ganskow? The quality of that shirt, no. But yeah, Brendan Allen, Chris Curtis, the rematch, right? A short notice rematch. Chris Curtis came off the couch for this one. Brendan Allen surging, right?
Yep.
He's been on a roll lately. I think going into this, who did you have? Because Chris Curtis won the first time, right? Finished him?
Yes. I had Brendan Allen going into this one, actually. I think that overall, Brendan Allen's a more well-rounded fighter. Plus, Curtis didn't have very much of an opportunity to get ready for this one. I know that they had that first matchup, and Curtis caught Brendan Allen, but I just didn't see it happening a second time. Did I think it was going to be a super exciting fight? No. It honestly turned out being a better fight than I thought it was, though.
It's a banger. I really enjoyed this fight. I've watched it like 3 times now because I don't know why. I was looking for one specific moment to get a screenshot of, and someone said it was in the second round, and I watched it 3 times. I'm like, where is? I don't see it. So I was like, now I don't know what round it was. So I just rewatched every round multiple times. Finally found it in the last round.
the thing is, in the first fight, Brendan Allen showed like he can get caught, right?
Yeah.
And Chris Curtis has the power to hurt Allen and to get him on wobbly legs, which happened a couple times in this fight. In the first round, Curtis caught Allen with the right hook 2 times specifically, where I thought to myself, if he can get past this, we're probably going to go the entire 5 rounds.
Right? Yeah.
And he ate those shots really, really well. And I was like, okay, we're settling in here. It'll be a better fight than the last one. But then he ended up getting caught later on in the fight.
Yeah, I think it was the 3rd round where Chris Curtis clipped him with like a check hook, straight hook again. And that final hook.
The way he did it, the hook to the body, and then the hook up top, it was beautiful. And Allen did a really good job of going for the takedown after that. Because if he would have...
Yeah, that's the thing, dude. That's like, how many times have you seen a guy, usually it's who you're rooting for, and they get cracked and they're wobbly, and you're like, shoot, please shoot, stop trying to trade. You can't right now. And Brendan Allen didn't even think twice. Oh, I'm wobbled. I'm shooting on this takedown. And his entries are very good. His entries are very
Smart. Yeah, yeah.
He got
Fight
labored
IQ
later
really
on. But yeah, good fight IQ. There's some great pictures from this fight, dude. These guys were just trading with each other. Trading. And I think part of that is because, yeah, there were some moments where Chris Curtis got taken down. He gave up his bag, things like that. But for the most part, he was defending his takedowns really well. And then so many reversals in that body triangle, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 times. And then one time, Brendan Allen's like, I know this dude's about to try to turn around. And then he caught him in the middle and then mounted him with it, which was really cool to see him not just get repeatedly reversed for the same reversal over and over. Well, he did, but at least he counted it once. But going into the 5th, I thought this fight was dead even. I had Brendan Allen round 1, Chris Curtis 2, Chris Curtis 3, Brendan Allen 4, and then the 5th round was the decider for me. And you know what? Like I said, I've watched it 3 times already. I don't care about the decision. It's at first I was like, I had Chris Curtis there. Rewatching that 5th round a couple times, it's a coin flip, and it just happened to be where all 3 judges flipped that coin and got heads and gave it to Brendan Allen, right? Because I mean, it was close. It was real close.
Absolutely. Shout out Colleen. Shout out Genevieve as well. A lot of folks joining us early this morning. But no, yeah, I'm not upset with the decision at all. Man, did you think that Curtis landed that knee in the 5th round?
Look, okay,
from that
I
first
actually
angle?
wanted to talk about that. I think it was the 4th round, right? Where Brendan Allen
was it the 4th or the 5th?
I think it was the 4th, where Brendan Allen shot in on him, and he knees him, and it looks his head like snaps, and then he goes in on the takedown like an ankle pick, right? Because he's on his knees, and they're like, "Holy shit!" And then they show the replay, and they're like, "Oh no, it hit him in the shoulder." Look, it maybe didn't land on his chin, but it landed here, and his whole shoulder hit himself. It like hit him in the jaw, and you see his jaw. You see his head whiplash. Look, just because the knee didn't land on the head does not mean that it did not wobble him or rock him at all. Because we just saw a guy get knocked out shooting a takedown and hitting someone's hip, right?
Yeah. Hey, shout out Jeff Batari with these pictures, though.
Yeah, really good photos. Really good photos.
Wow.
But yeah, I think the knee did do damage. Despite not landing flush, the shoulder completely hit. He hits himself in the head with the shoulder. We've seen people get wobbled off of way weirder things.
Yeah, I hit my head in the cabinet the other day, and I felt pretty wobbled. Dude, it doesn't much sometimes.
Dude, one time when I was still living in Gilroy, shout out Gilroy, I like straight up passed out in the kitchen. Woke up, dude.
I remember you telling me that.
Head's just like completely like cocked forward. There's a big old dent in the drawer from the underneath the oven.
Dude, those drawers, I'm telling you, they'll get you, dude.
Ooh, it caught me.
Jab, like straight forward, if the drawer comes out fast.
It caught me. But here's a picture of Chris Curtis probably tore his hamstring. He said it happened in the 2nd round. Rewatching it, I don't see any specific moment where he winces or anything like that, but something that does happen multiple times in that 2nd round, which I thought was a good weapon that Brendan Allen kind of ditched, was that the lead leg side kick to the knee of Chris Curtis. There was a couple times he landed it in that 2nd round where, dude, if you just go ahead, straighten your leg out and feel the stretch of your hamstring. If that gets hyperextended, all that does is pull more on your hamstring. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of those kicks that tweaked it a little bit in the 2nd round. And then he hits him with that Suliev sweat stretch in the 5th round for like a split second, right? He tries to take his back. Chris Curtis is getting up. You can counter somebody getting up with you on your back by switching to that leg and pulling it up. It wouldn't surprise me if that aggravated it even more. And then that final takedown attempt where he tried to sprawl, it just tore on him. And I think
how tough is he though, man? Because I think there was like 15 seconds left, and you see him kind of like limping back, and Allen just comes after him, and he's just trying to cover up as much as he can.
I think that's what lost him the fight, to be honest. I think
the last few seconds,
all 3 judges. Yeah, because that 5th round is really close, but largely it was Brendan Allen shooting for takedowns, not getting them, and then slowly getting up, which is just not a good look to the judges. But the last 15 seconds matter the most for the judges, seemingly. And it looked like Chris Curtis was hurt up against the fence, and Brendan Allen was teeing off on him a little bit. I think that kind of swayed them and that's what gave him the fight.
Dude, and the agony of defeat. Like when you see,
Well,
there's this one
you're also
camera
physically
shot.
in pain.
Yeah, there's this one camera shot where Eric Nixick is like carrying Chris Curtis off, and he's like puts his hand up, and he looks like he's about to start crying because he's in pain. He gave it his all, and then to hear that you lose by decision. Oh, that one right there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we had this picture up here. Great job, Rich, putting it up in like right in time.
Hey, this was the card of hairlines, huh? Blunderbub says, did you guys think Curtis could have taken it by being a bit more aggressive, or do you think he would have got caught and dropped? I don't know. I thought there were some very clear rounds in this fight, and then there was one that was just so close. And it's hard to say you need to be more aggressive in the fifth, right? Just because you're so exhausted and stuff. But I think if he punished those failed takedown attempts more in the fifth round, I think he maybe would have taken that round. But that's always been Chris Curtis. He's always been not the most aggressive guy, and it's more so shoulder rolling and using those weaves to land his own body shots and things like that. So you kind of have to give him something to work off of, which Brendan Allen did. Brendan Allen's volume in this fight was very good. He threw a lot of punches.
By the way, also have in my notes that Curtis did a really good job rolling with some of these punches early
dude, his
on.
Shoulder rolls so
second
good.
Round was really good. Like you see Allen coming in with some long snapping straights, but it's like right at the end, right where Curtis is turning with him. Now, as you get into the fourth and fifth round, and both of them are more tired, they're both just flat-footed, just throwing haymakers, dude. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, this was a banger, dude. This was a good fight. Really good fight. This would have been a lot better with the crowd too.
Oh yeah,
the crowd would have been loving this fight. There's another thing too, actually. The commentators thought Brendan Allen got wobbled, but there was 3 times in this fight where Brendan Allen was circling along the cage and his foot got stuck in the gap between the mat and the fence. And the last time it happened, the commentators thought he got wobbled, but he just got stuck. And it happened multiple times this event. And it's like, did they mess up on the mat? Was there a bigger gap than normal between the fence and the mat? Because it was super weird. But
yeah.
All right. I don't know where I was going with that, but
Ganscow says Curtis seems to fight a lot of close fights. He does. Do you think he's one of those fighters where maybe we just have to try a different camp, different gym, and see maybe there's just that one missing ingredient that he's not getting there?
Maybe
it's a great question from Ganscow.
I think
or a great
in the past he's really struggled with guys who can who have it's super difficult technique to master, but some guys do. It's called circling to your left. Chris Curtis really has struggled with that in the past, where he just follows you. Remember the Jack Hermanson fight? He was just like furious the whole fight, and it's like, dude, he's lighting you up and then circling. Like, you need to cut him off. And in this fight, he did a pretty good job.
To your left, he said.
Yeah, really, it's a master move. But they teach only black belts know it. Black belt strikers.
Black belt strikers.
Yeah, but Chris Curtis did a very good job in this fight of cutting Brendan Allen off, because Brendan Allen was circling heavy earlier in the fight, and Chris Curtis kept cutting him off, and eventually he had to just stand and trade with him because he wasn't getting out like most people have been able to. So he's still improving, and this was no camp, He took this short notice.
True, very true.
Had a kid.
Good point.
Chilling.
Good point. I mean, based off yesterday's performance, if he would have had a full training camp going into this, you feel like he would have probably won this?
It just would have been different. Who knows what would have happened?
Yeah.
It just would have been different. He knocked him out the first time they fought, right? It was like a second round.
Or I think he hurt him and then choked him out after that, I think.
The old club and sub. That's Brendan Allen's specialty, huh?
Yeah.
That's what he's been doing a lot lately. Hurting somebody and then taking their back and choking them. Very good back defense from Chris Curtis, right? Choke defense. Because Brendan Allen has a ton of rear naked chokes. And he had plenty of opportunities in this one. But yeah, it was a really good fight. I liked it.
He hurt him. Punches and knees, it says here. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Look at that.
You're right. All right. Ganscow, what do you say about Nixick there?
Eric Nixick follows me on Twitter, so I'd never tell his students to go somewhere else. Shout out Eric Nixick. Great hair transplant there on Nixick, huh?
Oh, it looks fantastic.
This card. And we can use that as a transition if you don't mind.
Get out of this one.
Eric Nixick with the great hairline. Damon Jackson with the great hairline. That's all we're going to talk about from that fight because it was awful. And we can move on.
he looks ravishing now. He's a
like
handsome guy. Dude, I saw him and I was like, is that the same guy? Is that the same
Not
guy?
the same hair.
Man.
I was
for
worried in
real,
those grappling exchanges we'd start to see it start thinning, but it's a good one.
Went to I'll have her home by 10 to she calls me daddy. Real quick, with one hair transplant, dude. Damn. Impressive. All right. We can go ahead and move on to the next one. We had Chepe Mariscal versus Morgan Charrier.
Dude, this was my most anticipated fight of the card. Because Morgan has looked like he has a very high ceiling already. Says Ramiro, no. But yeah, Morgan looks like the real deal, and he's just young, right? He needs to kind of find his footing and just kind of polish off some things. But he looks like the potential is there. And Chepe's a dog. Every single time he fights, this dude throws down. And this was a banger, dude. This was a fantastic fight.
Really impressed with Charrier's ability to stay in the pocket, stay really calm, and his shots, man, were so clean and tight, right? Like there's a few times that Chepe is coming in and throwing some big haymakers, and he stays in the pocket knowing, okay, he's going to continue moving forward, right? His shots are probably going to extend further than my head, so he stays in tight and kind of like bumps into him, and as Chepe is backing up, he goes, boom, boom, really quick, right down the middle. Genevieve says so much slapping. That's something that the announcers pointed out too. They're like, hey, Chepe slapped Charrier a lot, where if he turned these into actual fists, like he might be able to do some damage.
Yeah. I mean, who knows, right? I liked him. I thought it was cool. I think it's disruptive, and it can almost disguise your punches and think, look, I can take these guys slapping me. I can take these, and then all of a sudden it's a punch, and you're like, oh, I thought it was a slap. So I don't mind mixing it up like that. What I do really like from Chepe in this fight was getting Morgan up against the cage and trading in the pocket, because Morgan's so good at rolling and weaving that he would throw like 3 hooks to get Morgan to weave, and then once he's weaving, he's not over his hips anymore, and then he'd shoot on him, and then he'd ditch the shot, land a couple hooks, and then shoot again. It was so good and just a crazy pace, which I think ended up costing him the second round, because I had Chepe winning the first round, and then he slowed down heavily in that second round. Morgan had his number in that second round, dude. He was tagging him. And then the coolest sequence of the fight for me was in the third round, where Chepe walks him back to the fence and he's landing shots, and all of a sudden Morgan's like, whoa, and he's like weaving, stuff's hitting him in the shoulders and the chest, and then he uses a weave where before his weave cost him a takedown. Now he uses his weave to get in on an angle and then turn the corner and take Chepe down. I was like, that's so sick, to take a moment where he was getting lit up to start weaving and use your weave into a takedown.
That
cool
was
stuff.
Pretty impressive. That was good stuff.
Cool. That third round is razor close, man. That was a close ass round.
Who'd you give it to?
Live, I gave it to Morgan. Rewatching it, I gave it to Chepe. The third round.
You rewatched this one already?
Yeah, I watched it this morning, but right before.
You're such a student of the game, man.
Not really.
Look at that picture. Another fantastic picture, man.
Well, we're gonna have a classic Rich moment here with this picture in the next one.
Oh,
look at that.
Nice. Yeah, so for anybody just listening, not watching on YouTube, highly recommend watching on YouTube so you can see the pictures that we're referencing here. But all right, man. Anything else on this fight?
No. Chepe, every time you watch him fight, it's a banger. He's must-watch TV, and Morgan is someone who is very skilled, and this is a razor close fight that could have gone his way. I think that's somebody everybody should be watching moving forward.
For sure. All right. We'll move on. We're gonna cover Ignacio Bahamondes versus who was it? Christos Giagos.
Yeah, Bahamondes, man. Some say the best defense is a good offense.
We forget just how young he was getting into the UFC.
Yeah, dude.
You feel like he's been around forever.
Yeah,
but dude is still super young.
Super young. He's got a little bit of that tall man defense still, where you lean or you leave like your hands low so you can strike and your chin's up. He's got that a little bit, and it's hurt him in the past. But in this fight, it didn't matter. He got caught with like a couple good shots from Giagos early. But after that, it was just all Bahamondes.
It was a really quick read, though, by Bahamondes. So Giagos kept on coming in with this like thing where he would duck in and come in with an overhand right? Because he has so much distance to cover. Yes, and then Bahamondes starts taking a step back and landing that uppercut. And I was like,
So
what
good,
a beautiful read early on. He lands a spinning heel kick later on, then a spinning back kick to the gut.
Dude, back to back.
Yeah.
Back to back.
And,
He's got an arsenal, man. He's got a full arsenal of weapons.
After that, Giagos was like, you know what? I'm going to sit back a little bit because I'm coming in and he's tagging me. But the thing is that as he's stepping back, he's now in that perfect distance for Bahamondes for him to start picking him apart, man.
Yeah.
And then he lands that
teep, dude, to the liver, right to the liver right there.
I know, man. Such a good performance, dude. And then Bahamondes lands that massive head kick with the walk-off KO.
Yeah, and we can actually well, I think there's a couple pictures of the wheel kick and the turning side kick. Wheel kick lands flush, heel to the side of the head. The hand is up from Giagos, but it's the heel lands behind that hand.
Look at my boy in the background, Tanyoni.
Yeah.
Probably thinking about dinner right now. Like, dude, what am I gonna eat after this?
Yeah. And then right after that, he hits him with the with that turning side kick to the body, and it was a snap, dude. Those are nasty.
Which, if I'm Giagos, I'm surprised because I'm like, dude, this guy's not gonna throw another spinning attack right after that spinning heel kick, you know?
Yeah. That's if you're conscious enough to even think like that. And there's that high kick from Bahamondes. That's the finish there.
Beautiful.
And the way he fell back into the fence and his head's like kind of to the side, great stoppage. I saw some people say it was an early stoppage.
No, it was a really good stoppage.
I mean, look
and
at
then Bahamondes, like, yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
And Tanyoni, look at Tanyoni. He's already in an aggressive sprint position. He's ready to go. Props to Tanyoni, dude. Do we have enough, like, a follow-up picture from this? You don't hear that very often, but I want to make sure we give him his flowers, dude, when they're due. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was a good stoppage.
It was a good stoppage. Do you want to watch the knockout?
But knowing Tanyoni, I don't know if there's any audio of this afterwards, but I could totally picture him be like, that was a bad knockout, man, but the way you hit the fence was a lot worse. Hey, you'll see it on camera. You'll see it on footage later.
Look, the high kick that knocked you out was pretty bad, but wait till you see that wheel kick again.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, man.
Love that guy.
Let's watch the knockout. UFC, we rarely get to watch UFC knockouts on this show, but they posted this cage side one.
Oh, sweet.
Bam.
Boom. Oh, yeah. No, look, dude, the thing is...
He's not defending himself. He's just...
No, he just put his hands up just hoping that nothing major landed, you know? And even Bahamondes is like, look, dude, I've been in enough fights since I was a kid when I know that somebody's not going to be able to defend themselves. And I was like, you know what? Good guy, dude. Good guy.
Yeah. What do you say? He's like... What are you going to say?
His wife's 5 months pregnant, dude.
Oh, okay.
About to have a kid. You know, like, it just... He's on a roll right now. Everything's coming together for Bahamondes.
Yeah, what did he say too? He's like, I dream of this knockout with my left high kick. And I'm like, that's so sick, dude. That's so sick.
Yeah, I think he said he's like, I even told my friends, like, left high kick.
Yeah, it's so cool. He's like, I'm right-handed with a left high kick.
Genevieve says, I agree with the stoppage. He was done letting it go for a few more seconds. Wouldn't have changed anything. No.
Yeah, not exactly.
Maybe the lifespan of Giagos is the only thing that would have changed.
Maybe the career.
Yeah, but that's about it. All right. You ready to move on?
Yes.
All right.
This is actually the last
fight we're going to cover from this UFC card because we have so many things to cover today.
Yeah. Yeah, only 4.
All right. Charlie Campbell versus Trevor Peek.
Yeah. Trevor Peek, man. We've seen, I think he's hit his ceiling.
He's here for a good time, not a long time. Let's just say that.
100%. Charlie Campbell did a great job of just staying disciplined, not going too crazy, you know, proper technique, proper mechanics, good decision making. But even that sometimes is not enough against somebody who's a wild man like Trevor Peek, because, dude, that's 15 minutes you got to be in there with the guy who's throwing tomahawk hammer fists at the back of your head when you shoot on takedowns. Like, this guy is crazy, man. It's hard to survive. It sucks because there's only like 5 or 6 pictures from this fight for whatever reason. Maybe Jeff had to take a break during this one or something, but there's only a couple pictures. But Charlie Campbell looked, he hit his flow state early, right? Everything he was throwing was landing. His left hook was great. That straight right over the shoulder of Trevor Peek landed like a million times. He mixed in his takedowns well, cool transitions, submission threats. Trevor Peak, though, clubbed him a couple times. He wobbled him a little bit once, and he stuck with it and stayed to the game plan. And just this was like a perfect like mixed martial arts performance from Charlie Campbell. This is like what you want to see from a student if you're the coach or something. It's like, yeah, everything's firing on all cylinders. The takedowns, the grappling, the hands, the kicks. It was just a very good performance. Well-rounded, you know?
It was
Mixed martial
fantastic,
arts.
man. And look, Peak, a lot of fun to watch. Trevor Peak.
Oh, yeah.
If he's on a card, I'm going to tune in for sure. He is so much fun. He's a wild man. I don't think that there's like a plan of attack a lot of times. Like it's just
kill.
Full out blitz mode going forward. Whatever angle, you know, I can throw wherever my fist is, like it's going. So I think that he is somebody that'd be like an absolute monster in the regional scene.
Oh, you know, dude, like nobody beating him on the regional scene.
Berserker style and like just how much he would overwhelm somebody.
Yeah, that happens
in the regional
a lot.
Scene.
Yeah.
But coming into the UFC with that style and having folks like Campbell, they're training with Ray Longo, you know, that could step back counter and circle.
Just
and
one simple trick.
Like you said, mastering going to your left.
Regional fighters hate this one trick, the step back counter.
Yes. But look, a lot of fun to watch, man. You know, we'll see where Campbell goes from here. I think we know where Peak goes from here. I'm peaking.
Yeah.
And look, dude, how awesome is it to see Aljo and Marab cheering on?
They're always there, dude.
Dude, say what you will about Aljo. He seems like a great teammate, man. Marab seems like he's a great teammate. That team over there seems just pretty close. Yeah, and I absolutely love seeing it, man. For sure. All right, man. We have a moment of silence, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we're not going to cover any of the prelims. The first couple were pretty decent. You know, Matsumoto looks like he's the real deal, the prospect. But yeah, that's all we're covering for the UFC. We did have some canceled fights. First one, Marvin Vettori was supposed to fight Brendan Allen. Instead, Chris Curtis stepped in for him. Marvin Vettori said on Twitter that he had Chris Curtis winning. Sungwoo Choi was supposed to fight Morgan Charrier. That's a fun fight, man. Morgan lost, so maybe they rebooked that. I don't know. Almeida was supposed to fight Fremd. Cynthia Calvillo was supposed to fight Piera Rodriguez.
Who saw that one coming, huh?
I know, dude.
Jeez.
There was like 4 missed weights, right? Anthony Hernandez, Calvillo.
I don't know. It was all over the place.
I don't know. Joshua Van versus Rocha. That would have been fun. That's about it, though.
Yeah. No mas.
Yeah, the Victor Hugo fight would have been cool.
Who got bonuses?
I think Bahamondes. Yeah, Bahamondes got one for his knockout. Finally, they picked the right picture for these posts, huh? We've seen some weird ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got the knockout. We got the bonus for Bahamondes. What else did we have? We had... Yeah, Cesar Almeida got one. That was actually a fun fight. That's worth going back and watching off the prelims. He got one for his beatdown against the fence. And then Chepe and Morgan got the fight of the night.
Luta do Noite. Very nice, man. That is fight of the night.
I see some people say, like, oh, it should have been Chris Curtis versus Brendan Allen. That was fight of the night worthy. But these guys could probably use the 50K more, huh?
Yeah. I like it when Ganscow says, cut Cynthia. Don't get me going right now.
Didn't they already do that?
Don't get me going.
They already cut her? And then it was weird. When they booked this fight, I was like, I thought they cut her. And then the UFC Roster Watch Twitter account posted fighter added Cynthia Calvillo. And I was like, did they cut her?
At what point do you say, hey, we're a professional organization?
Are we?
And part of your job is coming in and making weight. No, but that's the problem. You make fighters wear a uniform. They can't make money off sponsorships anymore because you want to look like the professional leagues. You want to be the NFL of mixed martial arts. And then you have shit like this going on?
Yeah.
When Cynthia Calvillo misses weight for her 50th time.
I think it's
John Jones threatening drug. Look, dude, you know what?
Look,
we're
getting
me all fired up.
No, we're gonna get into that real quick. Because you said they want to be the NFL. So they get the NFL drug testing after they push USADA out. Because USADA was like, no, Conor does need to test before he comes back. And the UFC's like, what the fuck, dude? You're gonna affect our bottom line. And they kick him out, right? And then And they're like, they're like playing this plausible deniability of like, they insinuated that he's on steroids. And it's like, dude, he's like 3 times bigger. Of course he's on steroids. What do you mean? And
Didn't he also say that he was on steroids?
More or less. He's beat around the bush a little bit.
Because he was like, look, dude, I broke my bone. I had to recover.
Yeah. And it's like,
and
well, yeah, but anyways, besides that, drug-free sport comes in. And also, I was talking to somebody in the comment section of the last the Weidman video we made, who was like, everyone's saying like everybody's on steroids now that USADA's gone, but like not much is different. It's like, well, a lot's different. It's a 40% drop off in drug testing. Champions have fought this year without being drug tested by drug-free sport. They've only been tested by the commission, which is just an IQ test because they only do it before the fight and after the fight, so you know exactly when it's happening, so you can cycle off, test for them, all that stuff, right? So people aren't getting tested. And when they do get tested, they get their lives threatened by a heavyweight John Jones who's drunk. I don't know if you guys have ever seen drunk John Jones, but he's terrifying. You know when you're like with somebody and you're like, this dude's unhinged, but like whatever, we're all cool and stuff. But you got like your side eye on them and you're always watching, right? Everybody's been in those situations where there's somebody who can snap and they're like, we're just kind of keeping an eye on this guy. Everything's cool right now, but I'm not letting my guard down around this person. You cannot let your guard down around John Jones, especially when he's drunk. And being a woman does not save you because he beat up his girlfriend in front of his kids. He hit a pregnant woman with his car and left the scene only to run back, grab some weed, and then leave again. He choked out that stripper. Look, he doesn't discriminate. Anybody could get it when you're John Jones. And when he's drunk, he's terrifying. He's terrifying. When he's drunk, it's like he's got that vibe of like, I'm going to do something fucked up just to see what the outcome is. And you can see it in him. I'll go shoot guns with homeless people on the outside of a strip club. Like the guy's creepy, dude. He's freaky, and everyone's like, and he posts. So what happened? Drug-free sport goes to drug test him. It's 4 p.m. by the way. 4 p.m. They show up at his house.
Good time to get hammered.
Male. Well, he was at a birthday. It was a birthday party at his house. So
that's fair then.
Get hammered. Maybe John Jones don't drink ever, but if you're going to, fine. But he admits he was drunk. He was like,
but if you're ever going to do it, birthday party at your own house, I get it.
Yeah. Just make sure your girlfriend's not around because for some reason that's enough to get him started.
True.
With all due respect, this is also all allegedly.
Alleged.
We do not have an LLC yet, but we will soon. But look, drug-free sport shows up at the house. They knock on the door. They're like, oh, John's in the garage. They go in the garage. It's a female employee and a male partner. And they walk in. John Jones is frustrated. He's agitated. He's cursing at them. She puts her phone on the table. They try to collect a sample. He goes with Jerome, the other guy who was with Drug-Free Sport, to collect a sample, right? He has to watch. He can't pee. He comes back. He can't pee. So they're waiting. They're talking. He's saying that he's going to sue them because they're unprofessional. The police report says that he said, you guys can't come over to the house or something like that, to that effect. People who show up at my house unannounced, like, you know, it happens to them, they get shot, this type of stuff. And they're just like, she's like already freaking out. She's like, this guy's unhinged. I don't feel comfortable. He grabs her phone, records them with her phone, saying that he's going to sue them for unprofessionalism, all this stuff. The police have that video. The police report, the cop who wrote the police report is like, yeah, we watched the video. He did take her phone and record a video of them. So we know that's true. Jones admitted that he was drunk because he's like, I'm allowed to drink at my own home. Yes, you are. But it's just another part that corroborates her story that he was drunk. And John Jones drunk is different than other people's drunk. But then they leave again. Jerome leaves with John again to the patio so he could go pee, right? And they come while they leave, she told the police that she was texting her boss because she felt unsafe, didn't know what to do, but didn't want to call her boss because she was afraid what Jones's reaction would be if he came back to the room with her on 100%. The phone with her boss, which is, dude, she's in the garage, John Jones's garage. He's 6'4", like 250 right now and drunk. With his history, I understand that completely if she's scared, right? Yeah. And then they come back, they got the sample, they leave. Jerome was like fucking up the sample, like trying to collect it or like to seal it and all that stuff because he was like clearly nervous, apparently, allegedly. And then they leave. John Jones posts on Instagram and Twitter a clip of his security camera of them leaving, and he high fives them and hugs them, and he's like, "Look, everything was fine, but also I'm going to look into they were unprofessional and they breached HIPAA and all this stuff." And it's like, so there was an altercation, and he said that he was cursing at them because he was frustrated, and yes, he was drunk. All of that mixed together, I'm inclined to believe that he was threatening and that's not cool, dude. You can't do that. You can't do that shit. And he was just arrested this morning, by the way, for it.
Oh,
so,
was he?
Yeah, right before we went live, he got arrested. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I don't think we're ever going to see Miocic versus John Jones.
No, dude. And will John Jones become the first ever 2-division champ to get stripped in both weight classes?
Oh, wow.
That'd be interesting, huh? It's all about that legacy. He was like, I need the Stipe fight for my legacy. Well, you're building quite a legacy.
Yeah, there's a different kind of legacy going on there, man.
Yeah, and there's the rant for it, but we need to talk about it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, see what you started against, Cal?
Yeah. Look, we needed to talk about it, and there was no way I was going to talk about it without getting like hyped up about it. But John's going to get stripped again. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I don't expect any real repercussions. I hope she at least gets. The other part of the story is that Drug-Free Sport, the team that the UFC employed, who's like they're even better than USADA, told her not to file a police report until the UFC can talk to her. No, dude, if I'm at my workplace and somebody's threatening my life and I'm scared for my life on the job, and they tell me, "Oh, no, we'll clean this up. Don't get the police involved." Fuck all of you. That's a lawsuit right there, dude. I'm suing the company. I'm doing all that shit.
That's crazy, dude.
That's nuts, dude.
That is pretty nuts.
Yeah, Ganska says need more one-off rant videos throughout the week, dude. I don't think. I don't think my heart.
We probably should have recorded a video for that, though. Now that I think about it,
it's still developing. He just got arrested this morning, so maybe we wait till we get all the facts and see what happens.
All the alleged facts.
My mom says some people just shouldn't drink. Yep. And John Jones is probably at the top of that list, huh? The track record of John Jones when he gets drunk is insane, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And he's like, I don't have a problem. You're like, what? What?
All right, man. Well, I think that was it for UFC then.
Yeah, we still have so much to cover. All right.
Which event are we going to cover first? Friday fights?
We are moving into one Fight Night 21, Amazon Prime if you're in North America. This was Regian Eersel versus Alexis Nicolas.
Awesome. Doggy. So, hey, for anybody that's just joining us, welcome to Story of the Fight. Again, this is my boy Will. My name's Ramiro. Cover all things mixed martial arts. And now we're going to be covering Fight Night 21.
Fight Night 21. Make sure you like it.
All right.
Let's get into it.
Yes, please do. Please do. Let's get into it. Eersel versus Nicolas.
Bro. Eersel, the immortal. I mean, he's been on such a crazy run. He's so good at striking. Like, he's just so fucking good. He's been the king for a long time now, for one.
Look at that belt, by the way.
Yeah, beautiful. 26 pounds, dude.
Oh. Beautiful. I love it.
Really good belt. And Alexis Nicolas also on a streak of his own. A lot of people going into this thought this is just an Eersel. This is going to be an Eersel showcase. Myself included. I thought I to be honest, I didn't give Nicolas much of a chance in this one. I thought Eersel was going to take this one. But Eersel has always struggled with leg kicks, and it's never really mattered as far as the outcome of the fight goes. But this first, also the walkout with the Immortal mask from 300 to fit the nickname, the Immortal. I mean, so fucking cool, dude.
It's so good, yeah.
Cool. Genevieve says, so many fights this weekend, too many fights. Glad we decided to skip PFL on Thursday. I wish I did. I should have made that decision. But yeah. Speaking of that, we had UFC, we had PFL, we had one. I think one very clearly was the winner this weekend. If you're comparing everything,
100%.
They killed it. They really killed it. They delivered.
Dude, when I find myself watching a fight and I'm smiling, like just how can I say, like appreciative of what I'm watching and the skill set and the competitiveness. Like I know I'm watching some damn good fights, man. And watching Friday fights, watching 21, like it just, I had a smile on my face most of the time.
It was fun, dude. They did a good job. So did Nicolas, huh? Nicolas opens up the first round, heavy leg kicks. That he's French, right? But that Dutch kickboxing low kick style, very good against someone like Eersel because Eersel's so long, and he doesn't really like block or he doesn't like address leg kicks very much in his fights. He just kind of eats them and is like, I'm fine with it. But the reality is it's scoring points. Whether it's going to affect you long term or not, it's still scoring points. And in a kickboxing match, let's leave the picture here, Rich. In a kickboxing match, those leg kicks score points and they add up, man. Kickboxing, if you don't get the finish, the scorecards are very important in kickboxing, and things can affect those. Some things weigh more than others, and kicks definitely weigh. And we'll talk about that when we cover Friday fights. But, that first round, Nicolas doing a very good job with his low kicks. And the second round, Eersel starts turning it up a little bit. He's one of those guys that he's like an avalanche, right? Where once he gets started, it just builds, snowballs. His volume is crazy. His aggression is crazy. But that second round was pretty close. I thought Nicolas took the first round. I thought Eersel maybe took that round off. He got lit up a little bit with the leg kicks. Great point scoring, point fighting from Nicolas in that first round. Second round, they started trading a little bit more with the hands. And Eersel, I think, got careless a little bit. And he's this big right hand that drops him because he came in a little reckless. Yeah,
that's exactly what I have in my notes. Reckless approach.
Yeah, Anonymous says Eersel probably would have scraped a decision victory if he didn't get knocked down, and we will definitely get into that because that knockdown is big. That's a 10-8 round for Nicolas, regardless if Eersel was starting to land more in that round, which he was. Third, fourth, and fifth, Eersel's coming on strong, coming on real strong, and you can see there's some guys who just have weaponized cardio, right? They can weaponize their cardio, and that's Eersel. He's never sat in between rounds. He always stands in between rounds. The guy's an animal. He's a straight up machine. And you could see as the fight progressed, Nicolas his hands are going lower. He's not getting behind that shoulder as well. He's not blocking as well. And Eersel's starting to land these hooks, dude. That chin on Nicolas, dude. He ate some hooks in this fight.
Yeah.
And we've seen Eersel with that death touch, right? Was it against Menchikov recently where he just barely grazed him and knocked him out? But how did you score it? Did you think the way I saw it, close first round, Nicolas edged it. Second round, the knockdown, automatic 10-8. 3, 4, and 5, I thought Eersel poured it on him pretty well and won those 3 rounds comfortably. I saw some people say the 5th was close. What did you think?
No, I gave it to Nicolas, especially after that knockdown and giving that 10-8. Dude, and I was super impressed. Look, for me, since I've started watching one, I'm not the biggest fan of just the regular kickboxing. Muay Thai with the 4-ounce gloves, all day, every day. Sign me up, dude. Take my money. That's my jam. I absolutely love it. But watching these guys last night, I was like, man, this is so high level.
It was good.
So, or not last night, but a couple nights ago. So high level, and it just got me thinking about like Alex Pereira in the UFC. It got me thinking about Izzy in the UFC and the transition that they've been able to make, and the solid foundation that they built through kickboxing that they were able to carry into mixed martial arts. So it got me thinking, like, man, what if Eersel was an MMA?
I know.
Like, what would that look like? You know,
people were like, "Oh, no, but the takedowns." And it's like, well, look at it. Pereira's a champ, 2 divisions. So
yeah, Izzy was reigning champ for quite some time. You know, their defense is they're striking. But I was super impressed with how technical these 2 fighters were, but I still edged it out to Nicolas.
Yeah, I had rounds 1 and 2 for Nicolas with a 10-8 second round. Rounds 3, 4, and 5 for Eersel, which is a draw. Which, because of the knockdown in 1, that's going to edge to the side of whoever gets the knockout or the knockdown in a draw in 1 is going to get the win. So I agree with that. Blunderbuff says, let them grab in kickboxing for knees. Please, Olivier Goss doesn't need to yell that much during fights. Give the guy a full break. No clinching. No clinching. Like, so many times people grab the head knee once. But yeah, it's a one staple. Kickboxing is Olivier yelling no clinching. We can actually we can show a little bit of this one, huh? This was this one here. And look at that with the belt. This is a big upset, man. It's a real big upset.
Yeah.
And it was fun, dude. So this is round 1. So here's some of the leg kicks from Nicolas, dude. Like, they're very good. I think that's edged him. Every time Eersel would plant, he'd hit him with that leg. Look at this leg kicks, dude.
Yeah.
This was a great fight.
And then his follow-up after the leg kicks.
Yeah. Good right hand there from Eersel. I mean, just Eersel
man.
keeps forward, dude.
Shout out one, by the way, for letting us show these clips.
Yeah, 100%. Nice right hand there. This is the second round. This is where Eersel started turning it on a little bit, but that costume,
yep,
and he got dropped.
He started feeling himself a little bit, huh?
A little bit too much.
Because you see the shots really looping there and just stepping forward. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
And leaning forward, right? Chin out in front a little bit.
Yep. Oh, that flying knee.
Also, shout out Olivier Coste. They did Friday fights the night before this. This was the morning over there in Thailand. Dude, these shots that Eersel was landing in the later part of this fight are crazy. I mean, look at these guys trading.
Yeah, what a fun fight, man.
Oh, look at that. It's like 6-punch combination from Eersel.
Anonymous says, I prefer one's kickboxing over Muay Thai lately because the speed and technicality involved compared to foreign's Muay Thai.
I can see that. I get that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want that craziness of the 4-ounce Muay Thai, but sometimes you do want to see some surgical fight like this. I mean, look at the way these guys are working. Did you see that combination? The right hook gets him covered up, and then he throws the knee up top from Eersel. Like, beautiful. It's just good stuff, dude. Oh, big uppercut there from Eersel. I mean, just a fun fight. It was a very good fight. We got a new champion, and that's always fun. I think they probably do a rematch. Yeah, shout out. Right? My mom says Cost had 2 hours of sleep. That's what I was talking about, but the fight distracted me. They had Friday fights that night in Thailand. The next morning, they have One Fight Night 21, which we're covering now because it's geared towards the American time slot. Dom Lau, Olivier Coste, the one crew, they're all in like 2 hours of sleep. And it's like, all right.
Savages.
And you're going to go ref like 5 of the 10 fights? And you're on 2 hours of sleep, dude? It's crazy, man. That's brutal.
Hey, you know what they need to do? They need to pull my boy Chris Tognoni into one to help out with some of these events. It would be fantastic. Can you imagine the level of entertainment? We'd have more things to talk about every single day.
That's true. We would. We do have the scorecards
let's see.
From this fight. I think, Rich, if you have that slide handy, there it is. Look at that. Let's see. Shane Byrne gave rounds 1, 2, and 5 to Nicolas with the 10-8. 3 and 4 to Eersel. So that's 48-46 in favor of Nicolas. But then Ricky Sewell, shout out Ricky Sewell, Richard Robinson, both had the same scorecards. The draw with the first round of Nicolas, second round 10-8, and then Eersel the rest. So
I can see a draw for sure.
I think a draw was the good card, was the best card in my opinion. But because of the knockdown on a draw, that's the closest the fight got to finished. Give it to the boy Nicolas. Very good, dude.
Hey, I see here Blunderbuff says, didn't he get kicked in the chest on Friday Fights too? He did. Sure did. Also, I'm pretty sure he got headbutted as well.
Oh, really? I didn't catch that.
He did. I saw it against who was it? No. I made a note of it. We'll talk about it later.
That's brutal, dude.
But I saw him get Puric in the Puric fight.
Okay, that was a dirty fight.
He got headbutted, dude. And so I was going to say for you, Will, since you have contacts throughout the one realm, if you can ask Olivier, right? Did he sleep backstage? I think that was a good question there. Somebody asked it on here. 2, how bad did the kick to the chest actually hurt? Because I did see him afterwards when the bell rang. He kind of like tried to rub it off a little bit. And 3, was that an actual headbutt in the Smith-Puric fight, please?
Oh, yeah, I'll see what he says. That's crazy.
Please, let me know what he says because I'm very curious.
Putting his body
Anonymous is the one that said, I wonder if he slept backstage. He had to have, right?
No.
Unless he just knocked back a couple of Red Bulls.
Yeah, maybe. Austin says, I've actually caught the live stream. Hey, shout out to Austin.
Red Bull, bro. Come on. That's for stopping Red Bull, dude. Let's go. Okay. Let's go, dude. All right.
Austin says, I was shocked Alexis won. I gave him, but I gave him at least 3 rounds with the knockdown being a 10-8. I think it's fair. Yeah, I think he did enough. I think it was a good call. Very good fight. I hope they do it again because I could watch these guys fight for a million rounds. So much fun.
Very entertaining fight. All right. Yeah. Want to move on to the next one?
Yes.
Was it Ruotolo versus Michell?
Yes. Ty Ruotolo versus Izaak Michell. Okay. What the fuck? This is crazy. We're doing it backwards. So the hype of this one was compounded because of what had happened earlier in the card. But first off, in this fight, such cool transition. There was a switch that Ruotolo hit that it looked like there's no way he's pulling this off, and he did, and he got. Actually, I think we have
the one where he lands in mount.
Yeah, I mean, just
oh my
incredible,
God.
dude.
So impressive.
Let's see. I have a clip here.
Dude, and the thing is that you see these transitions from Ruotolo, and you see, oh, here it is. Look at this.
Oh my
beautiful,
God, dude.
At this level, to be able to do
switch that deep, dude. Look at him scoot his left leg under right here. Ready? Right there. Woo.
Wow.
And that's what allows him to get that anchor right to get the leverage to pull him over. But that is high level, dude.
Super impressive, man. But the thing is that with these switches, the transitions, he makes them look so easy.
Yeah.
And we know it's not, right? But that's just how good Ty is, man.
And look, we're going to spoil something later, but Kade Ruotolo fought earlier, and he got an arm-in rear naked choke. They call it, they're like, I don't know what to call it. We'll call it the Ruotolo-tine. I like it. I saw some people online that were like, they didn't invent that. That's already happened before. Braulio Sima versus Marcelo Garcia, 2009. He got him with it. Yeah, fine, cool. But the brothers both hit it in the same night. It's their thing now. It's
When's the last time that happened?
Yeah. Did Braulio Stima's brother get it later on that same event? No. But look, it's like the Von Flue choke. Yeah, it's a Von Flue choke, but then OSP got like 10 of them, and everyone's like, it's the OSP choke now, whatever, right? Look, you could see him when he took the back, and he pulls Isaac's like wrist up to get the armpit exposed so that he could then fish his hook under to get the arm in rear naked. It's like they literally, he was like, my brother got this. I'm going to also get this. You could see him force it. And sometimes, look, anybody who's rolled has known. You see something on YouTube and you're like, before class, you watch it again. You're like, I could hit this. No one's going to expect this. I could hit this weird submission. And then you try it, right? You try it in the class and then it never works. And you're like, hey, why aren't they doing the thing that they need to do so that I can hit it? And you're like, damn it. It never works. Yeah. It worked. He forced a submission and it worked. That's crazy.
But you also hear like some of the best grapplers in the world that say like a Gordon, for example, where he says like, yeah, I go in and I say, I'm going to win by rear naked choke this time.
Yeah, you have a plan. I mean,
hey, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to win by a guillotine. Like, no, like he just says like, this time I'm going to try to win by this. And he's doing it at extremely high levels, right?
Yeah.
The highest. For Ty to be going in here at one championship fight and say like, yeah, I want to land the exact same thing my brother did.
Yeah, that's and crazy, this wasn't like a game plan. Like I've worked the setups for this submission leading up to this match. This is what I'm going to this match with. This was, hey, an hour ago my brother got this super cool submission. I'm gonna try to do it too. That's crazy, dude.
That's for nuts. Sure. Anonymous saying I was mad about there being 2 grappling matches on this card, but the Twins actually delivered 2 entertaining matches. Their opponents seemed decent too. It was fun.
I was talking to Nick Atkin was like, hey, I think he's like, I might catch some flack for this, but I actually liked Fight Night 21 more than Friday Fights 58. And I was like, I think it's because of these grappling matches this time, because they were sprinkled in throughout. It's a nice change of pace, and they were really, both of them were really good. Cool transitions, cool submissions, and it just kind of like the flow of the event is different with this. And sometimes you get a stall match, right? RDR versus who did RDR have a match against? Damn it, I can't remember. He had a grappling match, and was it Ty? I don't remember. But it was just stalling, right? They couldn't take each other down. It just really wasn't much happening. And sometimes that can kind of drag the event. So it's like a double-edged sword. You're either going to get like kind of a stalemate match where not a lot happens. There's no submission, no real threats. And that can kind of put a damper on the card. But then sometimes you get these awesome, it was Ty. Thank you, Genevieve. But sometimes you get these awesome grappling matches where there's cool transitions. It's exciting. You get a submission halfway through the round. And that's like a whole nother level to a card where you have Muay Thai, MMA, kickboxing. You get a cool grappling match to fit in between some of those, dude. It's awesome. Because sometimes you get a crazy barn burner and then you go to the next crazy barn burner and all of a sudden that next one isn't like, it isn't as crazy anymore.
It loses its sparkle because you just saw it. Another one just like it. Yeah.
Exactly. So you get a cool grappling match, which is still exciting and fun, but in a different way. And it really sets up that next banger to be considered a banger, right?
For sure.
Fun stuff, dude. Fun
Genevieve
stuff.
says Ty has such technical style compared to Kade, but they're both so great to watch.
Yeah, Kade's a wild one, huh?
Oh, dude, so wild, but I love it.
Yeah.
More fun to watch than Mikey Musumeci.
Their style is definitely, I think.
Right?
Mikey's very interesting.
Mikey's my boy, dude. His Instagram, one of the best pages, dude. Hilarious. Yeah. But
yeah,
I was watching.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying I was watching both the Ruotolo brothers last night. And I was like, I would much rather watch the Ruotolo brothers grapple than Mikey, just because they make their fights so exciting. They and especially Kade so aggressive in his approach, which I mean we'll talk about later, right? But
yeah, Austin says, I still think these two are going to get pieced up in MMA, though. I'm not sold on their wrestling. LOL. They spent a few years in Thailand training their stand-up, though. They could be a problem. And we will definitely talk about that because Kade has a fight confirmed, an MMA fight confirmed. So we'll talk about that in a bit later. But I know what you mean. But
yes,
we can move on. Ty got a bonus for this, by the way.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, they always get
good
bonuses
for him.
every time they get a bonus.
We're gonna start skipping some fights again for the sake of time. It's already 12. We're an hour in. We're gonna talk about Ben Tynan versus Duke Didier.
Look, Ben Tynan. I've been a fan. I was watching him in LFA, and at that time I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. He's just kind of on the card. I didn't really know much about him, but he had some fun fights. He lands that big punch because his takedown. He's a wrestler, obviously, but he lands that big punch, and that sets up his takedown entries. And I was like, this guy's pretty good. And then one signed him when he's like 4-0, and I was like, what the hell? This is crazy. Yeah, Genevieve says the jorts. He rocking the jorts at the weigh-in, but then he had the blue chew jean short, like fight shorts. Fantastic. The tuxedo muscle shirt again, just like we like our Jesus. It's just formal, but also I like to party.
Yeah, exactly.
But watching him in LFA and then seeing him develop, and now he's in one. He's had 2 fights in one, back-to-back wins. This guy's one to watch, man. And not just that, he's my boy because he's got the scene haircut. You know, that was the emo phase was close to me in middle school, right? He's a skater. I was a skater. He's got a Pokemon tattoo. That's my boy, right? Bulbasaur, not Charmander, but whatever. It's all good. I'll let it slide. So I'm like, dude, this guy, I like him for his fights. I like him for his personality. He's one of the boys. I'm down with this guy all the time. Then he comes out yesterday, and this was like the one I was watching for the most, to be honest, just because the guy's so entertaining. He posts, he does the one takeover on Instagram, and they're doing the photo shoot, and he's like turned, sticking his ass out and like looking back over it with the hair flip and like taking photos like that. I'm like, this guy's
so
fucking
funny,
great, dude. Just
hilarious.
So funny. Anonymous says Ben Tynan looks like everyone's first created fighter in WWE game when they were kids.
So true.
It's perfect. But he kind of has that WWE energy, right, on the mic, but it's not like abrasive. It's just like fun. It's just fun. It's not shit talking. It's just fun. It's just a good time.
And the thing is, you need this in MMA. You need these type of personalities in MMA.
You do.
You know, like, and it's not that he's going in there and being disrespectful or anything, but he's colorful, man. He's going out there and he's standing out.
Yeah, he's a personality. That's the key, though. He's not disrespectful. Jimmy says, what a goober. So the actual fight itself, Duke Didier comes in, immediately shoots on him. And you're like, wait, I thought Ben was the wrestler. He gets that single leg, gets him up against the cage or the ropes. Look at those jorts. The jean shorts are so good, dude. Yes, says one needs these personalities, and I think they realize they're leaning into him heavily now. He's only had 5 professional fights, and they're leaning into him this heavy. Fishes for the guillotine, goes down, and then uses the guillotine to get the butterfly guard. Uses the butterfly guard to push Didier away. Something that Toasty mentioned that last episode. When you have someone in a guillotine or a position like this, they are trying to pull their head out, right, of the choke. So you have them in the guillotine, your arms around their head, they're pulling out, and you can use that push to then use your butterfly guard to push with him. And as soon as you let go of the choke, They snap back. You use that momentum with your push on your legs from the butterfly guard, and that creates the opening. Because it's very hard, especially at heavyweight, to use butterfly hooks to push someone off of you.
Yes.
Right? But that coupled with the guillotine and them already pulling away from you really helps. He uses that to get up. Didier tries to go for the back body lock. Ben Tynan hits a switch, just like Ruotolo. A little bit more of a traditional switch there. And they get up, and they start swinging. Ben Tynan throws that left straight, dude, that cracks him. Because it's the same entry, right? He can feint his takedown, feint his shot, feint the left straight. It looks the same. That left straight lands. Didier's kind of wobbled, and you're like, oh, no. He walks him up against the ropes and clinches him, hits him with a cheeky elbow, and you're like, that's nice work. And then he hits him with another elbow, and you're like, holy shit, dude. He goes down. He hits some hammer fists. I think we have, and then it's just basically just a beat down from there. And then we can watch it. Nice. Damn, there's the elbow.
Boom.
Big shots. From
Canada, right here I was like, oh, no. Keep the ground and pound. But no, he's just flanning him out, and he's like, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, just nasty. Dude, that elbow. That elbow was so nasty.
Yeah. It was a nice setup, too, man. There. Yeah. And we have Anonymous saying Tynan versus Malikin in USA. That would be nice.
Look at this elbow.
I
mean, that is nasty, dude.
He like jumps into it almost.
Yeah, that's a nasty elbow, dude. Fucking awesome. Well, great work.
Yeah.
And then he rips the shirt off.
He rips the shirt off at the end.
Goes to the crowd. Nick Atkin catches it in the crowd. How about that? Gets it signed by him after the fight.
Look, dude, go back. Look at Herb Dean. Hey, eyes up here, Herb Dean, okay? Eyes up, Herb Dean. Don't look at him like a piece of meat. It's the jorts. It is. All right,
man. Yeah, they've been having like social media posts of him and Malikin, and Malikin was cage side because his boy was fighting on the card. Look, let's hold our horses here. No disrespect to Ben Tynan, but he's had 5 professional fights. I know he was active on the amateur scene. I don't want to see Malikin versus Ben yet. Not yet.
And I know he was saying he's a middleweight. There's no middleweight in the world that could beat me. Well, yeah. I know, but I was like, ooh, that's tough.
Look, I think you do the rematch with Ali Akbari, maybe. You do Rug maybe. I think Ben needs at least one more fight before fighting Malikin. And that one more fight should absolutely, to Ganskow's point, be in Denver. He's Canadian, but he's at Team Elevation with Curtis Blade, Zach Pauga, all those guys. So, look, it's April. We got September.
Let's make it happen.
Book him for Denver. It's a easy decision. Find anybody for him to fight. Not Malikin. Tynan versus anybody else in Denver is amazing. Jamie says, I think Tynan would get his ass handed to him if he went up against Malikin. It's just too early, man. I think the wrestling would cancel each other out, if anything. And Malikin's a berserker on the feet. I just don't think he's ready.
Yeah.
Don't think he's ready.
For sure.
He's still young in this game, dude. 5 professional fights.
5-0.
Malikin's a 3-division champion. There's a difference there.
Tynan does have the jorts. That gives him extra power.
Yeah. And a lot more range of motion if you're an Always Sunny fan. Look how low I can get. And just...
All right, man. Do you want to move on? We have 2 more fights to cover on this card.
Yeah, let's move on. God damn, so long.
All right. Jacob Smith versus Denis Puric.
What a
Dennis, the Bosnian Menace. What a nickname.
Yeah. These dudes, every once in a while, look, fighting is they're fighting, right? It's a fight. Every time it's a fight, but it's also a sport, and sometimes it's a professional fight. This one turned into a fight in the 3rd round. Aggressive, fuck you. This is a fight. This is not a sport anymore. I'm trying to beat that ass. This was a gnarly fight, dude.
It was so much fun to watch, dude. And they both had their moments. The crazy leg kicks. Puric, when he catches the leg kick from Smith, picks him up and tosses him.
Oh yeah.
And then Smith Smith like gets up and he smiles and he's like, "That was fun," you know, like
yeah, there's a
and
full
they
on
just keep on going at it.
dude.
Oh my, is this it right here? Just picks him up,
just throws him
and
down.
Look, he smiles, dude. He stands up and smiles, and he comes right back at him.
Dude, this was a vicious fight, man. These guys were throwing at each other. What a fun fight this was. And there's a sweep from Smith back. But that third round, dude. Well, I think it was the end of the second, right? Where Puric lands an uppercut off of a kick that he called it a knockdown.
That right there. Sorry to interrupt, but
yeah.
Puric kept on doing this where he was going to go through and reset.
Away.
He turned his back and take a couple steps and then turn back and try to reset. And Smith then was like, "Nah, you ain't doing that to me, dude." So every time he'd like turn his back, he'd rush him, boom, boom, and try to throw a couple shots. Dude, this fight was so entertaining.
Yeah, it was a firefight, dude. And the first knockdown came in the second round. I think it was Smith threw a kick, so he was like off balance. And I don't know if the uppercut really should have been scored a knockdown right there.
Ooh.
Right? Because if we CSI it, this was called a knockdown. It's on the armpit. And he slips. You can see it slip. They call it a knockdown, which from the vantage point of Olivier,
gets him on the chin.
I'm not mad at.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that. It should not have been a knockdown, and you can see Smith protested immediately because he didn't even get his head touched. And he's like, "No," no. But then because of that, he comes in reckless and then actually gets dropped.
Exactly, and that's what I was gonna say, right? Because he doesn't get dropped for real the second drop, but he probably doesn't rush in like that if he doesn't feel like I have to end this round trying to knock him down.
Because now he needs a finish. Because he got dropped in that second round, he needs a finish. And that third round was pure aggression from Smith, dude. And Puric was exhausted and was like, "Dude, please let me." And he kept veteran moves, right? Like you said, turning away and slowly getting back up, knowing he's up.
Killing all the time.
Smith was a Terminator this round, dude. Look at him charging in with that knee to the body, that uppercut, the kick, right hand. Just a Terminator. And here's the big
elbow to the back of the head.
Damn, dude, that's brutal. But he's turning around. And Olivier did a good job. He had his hands full in this one. But he kept turning around, right? And Smith was complaining. He was like, "Dude, he keeps turning around." And then here's the thrust. Bam.
Boom. Little thrusty thrust.
This is when it was turning into like an actual fight. Yeah. He's like, "Dude, this guy keeps turning around. I'm down. I need to finish. He needs to fight so that I can get the finish." And he's flopping and slowly getting up. And the clock's ticking. And I need this. Like, what? And you could see the frustration, dude. And it was Austin says, "I get it though. From Olivier's perspective, it totally looks like that uppercut dropped him. If this was 5 rounds though, I think Smith would have beat the brakes off him." Yeah, because the tide was turning that third round, dude. The aggression from Smith was nasty.
The crowd did not like the thrust. They ain't about those thrusts in Thailand.
You don't do that. You do not.
Right away, he was like, "So I'm sorry." Like, I'm turning around.
That's the heat of battle right there, dude. Anonymous says Smith was getting pissed at the fake knockdowns, the actual knockdown, and Puric turning around all the time. Dude was going nuclear. Yeah, he was furious, dude. All right, here too, especially. He's like, "Dude, come on."
Yeah, but it's one of those in the third round where I was saying that Olivier got headbutted. Oh, right there.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it right there. Because Smith tries to like.
Oh yeah, he does.
Puric, and he gets him right on the chin. Right. Boom. Oh. Right there.
Yeah, that's nasty, huh?
Yeah. You got to ask him about that, man. Not only did he only get 2 hours of sleep that day, but he got beat up.
Dude, he gets kicked in the chest by Shadow, goes to bed for 2 hours, and then gets headbutted.
From Puric.
That's brutal, dude.
Rough night.
But very fun fight.
Yes.
Gans says at least he didn't resort to biting out of frustration.
True.
Very good. Very good.
Very true.
We've seen it happen.
Our standards have moved.
Yeah. Puric's post-fight interview was fantastic, though. I'll give him that. The dude was hyped. It was a fun post-fight interview. And then you see the respect, despite the bad blood and the heat of that fight, because that fight had some heat on it.
No,
You
dude,
see the
at the end of the
respect
day,
after
they're
the fight.
fighting, man. They know.
Yeah, they know.
All right. We'll move on to the last fight that we're going to cover from this event. It was Kade Ruotolo versus Francisco Lo.
Dude, we kind of already talked about it, right? So we'll be quick on this one. But Cade's aggression and his transitions are so fun, dude. Because he's one of those guys, like Mikey doesn't want to be on top. You know, Mikey wants to be on the bottom so he could attack these leg locks, things like that, roll to things. The Ruotolo brothers can be on top or bottom. They have very cool setups, where they give up underhooks and half guards so they can hit their dars, things like that. But then they also work off their back. But the back take from Kade, there was a point where Lowe, I think, kind of rolled away to get distance and stand up.
Mm-hmm.
But Kade just sprints at him and jumps across the ring, dude, and takes his back. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Yeah. And I mean, part of this too, Francisco going into this saying, hey, not only am I going to beat Kade, but then I'm going to go after Ty as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so he's talking all this trash going in there. He starts off with the flying triangle attempt on Kade.
That was cool.
So we're like, what's going on here? And also, dude, Herb Dean, great job in these jiu-jitsu matches, man.
He's been good.
He's been really good, you know? But yes, to your point, when he tries to roll out of it and Kade, he's like, you ain't getting away from me that easy.
Actually, let me show it really quick, because there was no picture of it, and the motion really does justice. Because the fact that he could do it so wildly and still maintain control on it, and not lose the position, and it's gonna be quick here as soon as I click this, bam, and the hooks go in. Like, I mean, look at that roll, dude.
Have you ever seen like when
there it is?
That's awesome, man. Look at that.
Yeah, so cool.
Like when an anaconda catches like large prey, and like that prey's like starts trying to spin everywhere, but the anaconda just keeps on getting tighter and tighter as it's spinning.
Yeah.
That's what that looked like.
Yeah,
like he latches onto him. Lowe tries to spin out, and like he just ends up even tighter in Cade's grip. You know, it's just beautiful to watch, man. These guys are so much fun.
Yeah, they really are. How sick! I really like those rash guards too. The one that Lowe's wearing is so sick, dude. No, the one that Lowe's got on.
Oh, okay, got it.
The black
dude, with all your contacts, tell him to send you one, bro.
I don't even roll anymore, dude. What am I gonna do with that?
I don't know. Put it.
It's been so long.
Put it behind you. Put it up somewhere. All right, man. That was it for Fight Night 21. Fun event. To your point, this really pushed one over the top when it comes to beating out all the other organizations for the weekend, right?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, 100K for the bros, dude. Both of them. Both get 50K.
That's sick, dude. That's sick.
Bros take home $100,000 on top of their paycheck. Very cool.
Awesome. And they're so grateful too, man.
They seem so humble, dude. So
they
humble.
Really do. They're like, we said it time and time again, like, you guys are changing our lives, you know?
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Dude, Kate took a picture with me when he was walking out in Denver. We were like front row, not on the floor seats, but like the front row of the whatever, right? And the exit lane was like right there for all the fighters to leave. But Cade walks by, and I was like, oh, what's up? And he's like, oh, what's up? All cool and stuff. Just trying to get to his seat. Cool ass guy.
He's like, you want to roll? And you're like, nah, dude, I don't roll no more.
I don't do that anymore. But if you give me the bastard. All right,
man. Let's move on to Friday fights. It's been, dude, we're getting delirious here.
We're deep in here.
Oh, we got bonuses.
So
we got bonuses.
Cade, Ty, both get the bonus. 100K for the boys. Ben Tynan gets one, obviously, because dude,
for the
guy is the jorts get a bonus. Oh yeah, real quick.
Awesome.
Point. I still think they'd get the bonus from MMA by
high
level wrestlers. Their aggression can easily backfire in an MMA match. I think they'd adapt better than some dog like Mikey, though. Look, Cade has a grappling or an MMA match. I think at 167 in June. They gave him somebody who's 2-0. It's a good entry point. It honestly might be a little bit much for your debut, but who knows? I just hope. I know they've been working with guys. You know, they've got some working with Haggerty. They've been working with strikers. But I hope it's not just – we've seen this so many times where jiu-jitsu players, Mackenzie Dern, Damian Maya had great success, but it's still the same point. A lot of these jiu-jitsu people who are so good at jiu-jitsu, Brian Ortega is one of them, and they develop striking. They get Bangkok ready, and they think, I got my grappling situated, I got my striking situated now. But they don't address the wrestling. And it's like,
Yep.
Hancock Ready works against someone who's low level, but once you get to somebody who's like an actual striker who can defend a takedown, those body lock trips, those jiu-jitsu takedowns are just not going to work at the highest level.
Mariscal says Ryan Hall too.
Ryan Hall as well. I hope they develop some real wrestling, dude. Real wrestling, because the striking needs to get good enough where they can at least make you need to be aware of it, right? Hit them with something quick, and they're like, okay, I need to respect it a little bit at least. Then you can set up your takedowns and get to where you need to go, because they're so aggressive right now, but it's because they're in the ocean, dude. They're jiu-jitsu. Yeah, they're fine there. They can swim there. I don't think they're going to be that aggressive in MMA. I would hope not, because they're out of their element there. And you might see some aggression once they go to the mat, but they have to get it to the mat, and that's going to be the key. The striking needs to develop, yeah, but the wrestling I think is even more important. Because you see how many terrible strikers have you seen who are wrestlers continually win fights just because they can get it to the mat and they don't have to worry about their striking. I would much rather see them develop wrestling.
Ground and pound is easier.
Yeah, get their striking decent. It doesn't have to be Bangkok ready. It needs to be respectable. We'll see.
All right.
But I'm excited. I like them.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I really don't want to see Mikey Musumeci. I know he's been talking about possibly stepping in. I was like, please don't do that, dude.
I don't want to see.
I'd be heartbroken. Yeah, neither do I.
Hey, all right. Shut up, Ganscow. Respect.
Moving on to Friday fights.
Ooh, doggy. Yeah. And we will not be able to show, we'll have pictures, but we will not be able to show footage from the pay-per-view portion of this card.
Yes.
But we will have plenty of pictures.
We had Superbon versus Grigorian, though.
3.
All right.
Superbon Grigorian 3. First fight, Grigorian knocks him out, right? Second fight is a masterclass from Superbon. Also, Superbon with the fade. Coming in with the fade.
Yeah, dude. Okay. I respect that.
Huh? But yeah, second fight was the masterclass by Superbon. So they do the rematch. This is for the interim belt because Chingiz Alazov is trying to get out of his contract. So we'll see what happens. But which he's fought both these guys, right? But dude, the second fight, one thing that I love in fights, especially in rematches, is seeing, all right, who won the first fight? How did the loser of that fight adapt their game to address what happened and why they lost, right? First fight, Grigorian knocks them out. Second fight, Superbon is just push kick, keeping his distance so he can land that big left kick. And it was great adjustments from Superbon. And because Marat is just a forward pressure guy, right? He always is. He just walks you down. So if you can just keep keeping him, keep push kicking him, he has to reset every time. And he wants to close the distance, and you can't if you're just getting front kick to the body over and over and over again. And Superbon needs that distance so he can throw those left roundhouse kicks, whether it's from the switch kick or from the southpaw stance. He's so good with his left kick, but you need range to do that. Not always. Superbon has thrown it in real tight spaces, but so he's like, what is Grigorian going to do to negate that? And you see early Superbon try to throw those push kicks, those teeps, and Grigorian's just sidestepping them and closing the distance, going forehead to forehead with Superbon, crowding him. And I loved that. And he starts finding, because when they're like, this is a perfect picture. They go forehead to forehead. Superbon's up like this to watch the hooks, right? Because those tight hooks. And so Grigorian's just uppercut heavy this fight. Really cool work from Grigorian to walk him down, crowd the kicks, uppercut. But then there's the adjustment from Superbon. If we can go back one picture, Rich.
Is it the step and knee?
Oh my God, dude. Over and over and over again. Big scoring there.
Yep.
Because look, you want to someone who's forward pressure like that, you want to intercept them, whether it be your jab, your cross, the front kick to the body. All those things are very good weapons against someone who's walking onto you, because they're adding damage to those impacts, right? Because it's like a car crash. If you hit a brick wall, it's good, but it's bad, right? If you hit a brick wall,
yeah.
But if you hit another car who's moving towards you, it extrapolates, right? It's exponential. So if someone's walking onto your front kick or your teep or your jab or something like that, it adds damage to that strike. But if they're crowding you and you can't get the teep, you can't get that front kick, The next closest thing is that knee, and dude, Marat just kept walking into that knee, dude. I don't know what his body's made of. Dude was getting speared with that knee. That was awesome.
Yeah.
What a good read by Superbon.
Yeah, for me, it was a step in knee from Superbon, and it was also the ability for Grigorian to land his hands every single time that they would disengage, right? So there would be the step in knee, there'd be some of that dirty boxing you were talking about, but as soon as they'd separate and disengage, boom, boom, right? 2 quick hooks. So he did a really good job with that. But yeah, it was a fun fight, man. I don't have much to say about it. You covered most of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. Eventually, the body work from Grigorian was cool in the clinch too. I mean, look at these pictures, dude. The photography team for one is so goddamn good. But I really liked later on in the fight, Grigorian was slowing down, probably because it was the body, and it did let Superbon start throwing that left high kick, the left body kick. There was a couple times where he got it to the liver, and that's what you want to see from Superbon. You want to see him at distance. Oh, look at these knees, dude. But here's the picture right here, the high kick that I want to talk about. I just watched who posted it? I wanted to give them a shout out. But there's this girl on YouTube that posts a lot of like Muay Thai videos, right? And she just had here it is. Sylvie Von Douglas E2 Muay Thai. Very good channel. She just posted a video with Jean-Charles Skobalski. People who aren't familiar with One or something like that, they might know him. Well, he didn't fight for One or anything, but if they're not super familiar with like Muay Thai names, he was famous in America at least because on Ultimate Fighter, GSP versus Koscheck. Remember when they were like, yeah, GSP brought this Muay Thai guy in who's like a French dude, and he showed up drunk and he's just schooling everybody. Do you remember that one episode where they show up and there's just this dude, this French dude, they're like, yeah, he's drunk or whatever, and he's just sweeping everybody, and they're like, what the fuck is this guy? That's John Charles. Very good. But if you watch this video, it's like an hour and a half, dude, on YouTube. It's very, very good. And he's just talking about these things that are so simple, but it's not something that you pick up on, right? And this picture was a perfect example of it, where he talks about, if I throw my high kick, I'm not aiming over your shoulder to try to hit you in the top of the head, especially early. I'm trying to throw it to Ganska says the drunk French dude. I love that episode. Yeah, classic. He also allegedly wasn't really drunk. He was just on vacation in Vegas and had a couple martinis, and they were like, "You want to come on?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll come on." He wasn't like drunk, but he had a couple drinks.
That's hilarious.
Allegedly. So
that's what John Jones said.
Yeah. I was at a birthday party. But he talks about how if you throw that body kick, right, a lot of times people want to block it here, right? They turn their side forearms, cover their body, they catch it. And from there, you're in a position. If you look at my hands right now and I'm blocking to the side, that right hand is cocked. It's ready to counter off the kick. I take the kick, I block it, bam, I can throw my right hand. But in this position here, he's like, you want to kick the wrists. You don't want to kick the gloves because it's big cushion, right? But if you kick him in the wrists, that part of the glove will protect your shin, right? You won't hurt your foot. You won't hurt your shin kicking that wrist, the wristband of the glove. But what it does is it crosses up their hands. It'll make their hands cross up. He's in no position to counter here off the kick. Look at Grigorian's hands here. And it's crazy because I just watched this video a couple days before this fight, and you see it immediately, dude. Immediately from Superbon. It's like it's these little things. It's like you might just think he's throwing a high kick, but dude, he's aiming. He's aiming for this. It's nice work, dude. It's really cool because it also knock him off balance if you kick him that high, but you're gonna knock them off balance. They can't counter, but also their hands are crossed up. They can't throw a punch off of that. Easy money.
Yeah, that's a good breakdown.
It's cool.
What video
it's cool
did you say
video.
it was?
And there's the one right below the elbow to the liver. Yeah, if you just look up Jean-Charles Skobalski on YouTube, it's like an hour and a half. Really good stuff. But Superbon gets the decision. He gets the interim belt. They're like, who do you want to fight next? Do you want to fight Chingiz Alazov or Tawanshai? And he's like, both. But here's the scorecards all over the place. You know, all three judges gave it to Superbon, but the rounds were it was close, man. It was really close.
Yeah. Good fight, man.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to cover on that fight?
No, that's it. I know we're an hour and a half in.
All right. We had Nong-O versus Kulabdam.
Going into this fight, everybody was like, stop giving Nong-O these killers. Please. Because, you know, Haggerty dispatches him, right? And then who did he just fought? Why do I not remember? He fought Haggerty. He lost his belt. Oh, Nico Carrillo. And Nico Carrillo is a giant, and he big power puncher, and he knocks him out. And then they give him Kulabdam, the left meteorite, and everyone's like, "Stop, please stop! I don't want to see Nong-O get knocked out 3 times in a row." And Nong-O is like, "Dude, spare your tears, spare your worries." Slow round 1 from Nong-O, right? Kulabdam was very aggressive that first round, but then I remember I put it in the chat, in the Discord chat. It's like, dude, round 1s are basically, they don't even matter in Muay Thai. And round 2 starts, and Nong-O starts throwing that right kick to the body. Dude, he basically was just like, because look, if you're trying to throw your left hand and you're just spamming right kicks either to the arm or to the body, because the opening will be there when he's trying to throw his left, you could land it to the body. But even if you're blocking it, if you just spam those right kicks to that left arm, that's going to take away that weapon. And if your name is the left meteorite, and all of a sudden you don't have that left meteorite,
yeah,
what's the move? You know, it was perfect from Nong-O. I love seeing him get back on this. Anonymous says I was one of them who thought this was going to be a live execution of Nong-O. Great performance from Nong-O. Gritted this one out, dude. Loses the first round, takes it off maybe, and then just goes to work, dude. Fun performance. Look at that, through the guard. And of course that sets up the hands. It's good stuff, man.
Well, there we go, man. Anything else on that fight?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right, and then we'll move on to Seksan versus Asahi.
This is where you don't spare your tears. This is where the tears are warranted. Look, I am not familiar with Asahi. I'm not. I think his non-Muay Thai background really, really worked for him in this fight. And Seksan, look, Seksan's up there. He's got some mileage on him. He's had a great career resurgence. You could watch him versus Superlek on YouTube from pre-1 days. Really fun fight, but you could tell Superlek's on another level. But it's a very fun fight. And Seksan was kind of that like middling guy, similar to like a Robbie Lawler arc a little bit, where he was always game, but never really quite next level. And then had a career resurgence, like almost like RDA, right? To put it into UFC terms, he didn't become a champ or anything in one, but Seksan has had this career resurgence with one where he just went on a streak, right? Like 5 wins or something like that, getting bonuses on Friday fights. And this time it caught up to him, I think, a little bit. You know, he's got some mileage on him. And Asahi's this young kid with just very cool in and out movement. Seksan was just not able to get to him, you know?
The in and out movement, the lateral movement, man. The way that he bobbed and weaved as he moved laterally, you know, and was able to attack off that. He was very sneaky with some of his attacks, dude. I was really impressed by Asahi.
Yeah, and he didn't fight like a traditional Muay Thai style, and I think that really gave Seksan problems. It really did.
Rich in the chat saying Asahi Super Dry is his preferred picture of Japanese beer.
Whoa.
Good to know. Good to know.
Mom says man of culture. What was it? Crescent kick, hook kick from Asahi later. Oh, beautiful.
So good.
Beautiful. Yeah, if we're being real, this was a showcase for Asahi, and he styled on him a little bit in this fight. And it sucks to see your boy get styled on, but it happens.
And if you're going to bring somebody in like an Asahi, right, and you want his name to start building up right off the bat,
yeah,
Seksan's a good person to put him up against.
Yeah, and Austin says, as I say, he was styling on him. Austin says, yo, this Japanese dude was styling on Seksan. Good for him. After Chaudhry called out Japanese fighters for losing in one, we've gotten a huge flood of fighters from there. He's one of the few to shine 100%. And look, I've seen some people say that those comments from Chaudhry were kind of misconstrued, and he should have picked his words more carefully, but it was almost like a call to, like, it was meant as like a call to arms, because he said, he's like, look, Japanese fighters come to one, they get crushed, and everyone was like, damn, dude, what the hell, you're like trying to build that market. And I think I think it was like a, hey guys, come prove yourselves type message, but it's just worded poorly. I think a poor word choice came off as disrespectful for a lot of people. But yeah, Asahi is one to watch for sure. I like his style.
All right,
I was
we'll
not
move
familiar
on
with his game.
We also had Hehir versus Shadow.
This was from we're skipping Muay Thai versus Nakrob, even though that was a banger. They both got a bonus. But it sucks to see Muay Thai lose again. And then we're skipping Kong Thorani. Got a 1 contract that was also a banger, but we're an hour and a half into this episode. So we will go to Shadow versus Erik here. Look, Shadow, Regian Stadium champion, World Series winner, signs with 1. Very anticipated signing. Erik Hehir, 1 debut. Shadow debuts in 1, and he loses his debut, and everyone's like, what? This guy was supposed to be like the next big thing. They book him against Erik Hehir, and everyone's like, oh, they want him to get back on track. No one really has heard of Erik Hehir. No disrespect or anything like that. A lot of people going into this fight thought he was kind of like a sacrificial lamb to get Shadow on track in 1. And instead, dude came in, let the hands go. This guy's fucking awesome, Erik Hehir.
The double jab in the beginning from Hehir over and over again
that
was
overhand
money.
Right? He dropped him with the overhand right, huh?
The step and hook to the gut.
The step and hook to the gut was his body shots were very good.
Very good.
But what Shadow did well is when you have a big puncher like this, look at these shots, dude. When you have a big puncher like this, one of the best weapons, and you saw it with Super Leg versus Takeru, is that inside leg kick, which in MMA you never see it. The inside leg kick with your lead leg. People say, oh, you don't have enough power, it's not really worth it. It can completely disrupt that overhand right from a big puncher, because they need to step in with their left leg to throw that big right hand. And if you're just kicking it out, it doesn't have to be debilitating, but it's if you can consistently do it and time it with their overhand right, it can leave you open for the overhand right if you don't time it well, right? Because you're on 1 leg now to eat the punch. But if you're stepping in, you're like, oh, I'm going to step in, dig in with that lead leg and throw the big right hand, and all of a sudden it gets smacked and it gets taken out from under you. That right hand just falls and you fall and you have to get back up, and it's exhausting. And it can add weird injuries because you're tweaking it constantly. You're off balance. It's not a good look for the judges. Like, it's a very good weapon against a big puncher, and Shadow used it expertly. And he eventually dropped him with it, I believe, right? Or he dropped him with a right elbow at the end of the first round, I think. But I was very impressed with how game Erik was. We can see the end of the first round here. He was there for it. Here's a shoulder roll from Shadow that he uses to wind up his right elbow for the knockdown. Because he turns to his left to get behind his lead shoulder right there, and he throws the elbow, it drops him. And I was like, oh man, here's the beginning of the end, right?
Oh,
fantastic reffing by Olivier in this one, by the way. And to your point, Ramiro, he did the hands up. He did the hands up. A lot of times they're like, all right, show me your hands. And then they're just like, no. And then they let it go anyways. Erik was up there. But look at the way he shoulder rolls. Gets behind his left lead shoulder. Let's see. Nice jab there.
There's that jab, yep.
Really good jab. And there's the
Setting
right hand.
a lot of things up with the jab. Oh, yeah.
He rolls with the left shoulder to cock back that right elbow. And then, bam, comes back around.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know why it's buffering now. But, oh, we lost it. I think it's right here. Bam.
Yeah.
Right on the chin, too. At first, it looks like it misses. And there's an over-the-shoulder shot here. Bam and bam. Right on the chin. And that drops him.
Yeah, and that was a rough one, too, right? Because you don't really see it from that first angle very much. Like, whether he got clipped super hard. But then the way that he stayed down on all fours, just staring down for a while, I was like, oh, must have really rocked him.
Yeah, and then they keep going. And right here, I think it's coming up soon. A right hand, and there's the kick out the lead leg. Shadow does it so well. His kicks are so good. That's his best weapon by far. There's a big right hand. But Erik was there for it, man. This dude's game as hell.
Austin, by the way, said the best part of these fights is when a hurt fighter rallies, and this is exactly it right here, right?
Yeah.
You see them bouncing their back off the rope, and they just come
And
back
there's the
swinging
knockdown.
even harder. So good.
I mean, that right hand is money, dude. Oh, it's because it's a live stream, I think. Live streams are act weird. But there's, again, you get your lead leg kicked out trying to throw your right hand, but there's extended combination, gets into the right hand. And Shadow goes down. It's a knockdown. His hand goes down, right? He gets the count, but Shadow's like, oh, shit. Now it's like a real... I knocked him down at the end of the first, but now it's like a real fight. I got to take this real seriously. And he goes to work with these kicks, man. And if you're Erik, this is like, all right, I heard him. It's time for me to go, you know? I'm the guy here that, you know, everybody's not supposed to... I'm not supposed to win this, and I just dropped him. Blunderbub, yeah, fantastic point. Very good shorts from Fairtex there.
I just noticed that right now, and I will never unsee it. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. But, dude, the inside leg kick from Shadow, there it is again. The way he times that with the right hand from Erik is so good. And then now he's just swinging a baseball bat at the top of his head over and over and over again. There's the inside leg kick again, and there's a big shot that hurts Erik. He wobbles, but he's still there, and he turns him into the corner. Now he's throwing.
Yeah, but you could see him still on wobbly legs.
Yeah, I mean he's fighting back, but he's in it right now. He's in the fire.
Oh, nice uppercut
from Shadow. Big
Nice
right hand to left
body.
hook.
Mixing it up very well for Shadow, dude.
Nice tomahawk elbow from Erik there. Nice right hand from Erik. Oh, those kicks, dude. Like, how do his arms feel after this fight, huh? Blocking all these kicks. Cannot be good. Oh, and there's a low shot. And even this, dude, I respect the way Erik handled this nut shot, dude. I respect the hell out of this guy. You made me a fan in this fight. Sometimes, you know, in a loss, you can gain new fans, and this is one of those. We'll skip forward. Because I do want to see the finish. I know we're late in this game. We only got one fight to cover after this, right? Big right hand there that drops him. I thought that was it. I was like, this has got to be it. The way he went down, he's on a knee.
Yeah, and when he stood back up, I was like, oh, he might be able to make it out of the round because there's only about 10 seconds left.
And hands up. 15 seconds. Let's go.
Shadow. Look at Olivier staying right there.
Yeah, and Erik's trading back, man. Eats that body kick.
Like more than 10 seconds, dude.
And there's the kick to the chest from Olivier, dude. Oh, he gets kicked in the chest there by Shadow, just full force. Bam.
Boom.
He's like, ow. He's still rowing.
Oh, poor Olivier, dude.
Oh, man, that's brutal, dude. Let's see the knockdown there. It was a big knockdown. There's the right hand that wobbled him the first time. Here's the right hand. Bam, punches right through him. Completely takes his legs out. There's the knockdown from Erik. So they even it out, right? They both got a knockdown that round. Bam. Very good stuff there. And we'll skip forward just a little bit. But it was cool to see Erik, like, you could see him gain the respect of Shadow in this fight, you know? Like, very cool to see. There's that inside leg kick. The way that he set the punch up with those two kicks to the head first was great. Yeah. I mean, Shadow's a master, dude. The step-in elbow from Shadow. There's that inside leg kick again, takes him out. And, you know, like, those aren't, like, debilitating shots. It's just disrupting your game. It's, you know, getting someone out of position is, like, half the battle. Nice spinning elbow attempt from Erik there. He misses a high kick. Bam, there's the high kick from Shadow. That hurts him. Kicks him again to knock him down. Just brutal, dude. The double high kick. One to wobble you, one to drop you. And then call it off. Yeah. A fantastic stoppage from Cost. He's holding him up in the corner.
Hair pretty much like collapsed into his arms after he saw that he stopped it.
Well, yeah. Once he's like, "Oh, are you gonna hold on?" Okay, thank you, because I did not want to stand on my own there.
Crazy.
And then let's do the replay real quick. Have you noticed live streams do this a lot? They like buffer differently than like videos. Oh, look at that high kick, dude. That's the one that hurts him. But he stays up. The heart of Erik Hehir, dude. And then, bam, there's another one. Right on like the temple, dude. I mean, that's brutal. And then let's see. Shadow got the double bonus. Yeah, double bonus. Got 700,000 baht.
Nice. Good for him, man. Want to move on to the last one?
Yeah, I know. We're almost 2 hours into this episode.
Peacock versus Shinjo.
Yeah, we'll talk quickly about this one. Obviously, Peacock is one to watch. Anybody who knows anything about him knows why, and if they didn't, they know why now just from that picture. But Peacock's been killing it on the scene, dude. On the Muay Thai scene, this guy is a savage. Yes, he is. He's only has half an arm. His right arm ends just past the elbow. But don't let that stop you, huh? He's like, I love him, dude, because like after the post fight and stuff, he's always like, I don't care what excuses you have. Like clearly, I have plenty of things I could bitch about and use as an excuse, but I refuse to. And look what I've accomplished because of that. And dude, this was a masterclass from Peacock. I mean, he just beat the brakes off of Shinjo. And I saw some people say like, oh yeah, Shinjo, no one really knows who he is and stuff. It's like, dude, he still has 2 arms. So like, what the fuck? And Peacock's out there just battering him. His high kicks, dude, are so good. His step back high kick. What did you think? Is this the first time you've seen Peacock fight?
Yeah, first time I saw him fight. I love the fact that he switched stances regularly. He would attack with the straight left from southpaw position. Then he'd go orthodox jab and then like throw a hook with the left. And then like he just was constantly switching stances. So even though he only has one arm, he was giving different looks all the time with his hand, which was really impressive. Right? Yeah.
You almost have to do that.
But no, I super impressed. I mean, especially considering dude's coming in with arm and a half.
Arm and a half, dude.
When he's first walking in, you're just wondering to yourself, because this is my first time watching him, and like when I first noticed, I was like, how many weapons does he have? Like, or is he going to go in unarmed? You know?
Hey.
But after watching, dude, you got to give the guy a hand.
Austin says, bro, his kicks and elbows are nasty. The way he can loop his elbow into clinch situations where fighters would normally just grab onto his arm to block is so satisfying. 100%. Because a lot of times you can just frame off and like I'll try to throw an elbow or like something and you'll catch my forearm or something. There is no forearm, so the elbow goes through, and it's just his ability to throw that elbow in those positions is very cool. And you could tell fighters just don't expect to get hit with something there, you know. And he does a very good job of keeping it up here, so that left hook doesn't come and crack him. A lot of guys have to fight like this or like this. He can just put his whole arm up. It's probably not as heavy, right? He can just keep that whole arm up in the way. Very cool, dude. Ganskow said Nick Newell was pretty good at striking too. Nick Newell was solid. But we saw what happened when he fought someone like Justin Gaethje. And it was like, oh, shit. This is where I remember watching that fight and I was like, why? Why are we doing this? I don't want to watch this. That was old school World Series of Fighting days before it was a PFL on Axis TV. Ron Kruk, Michael Chavello. That was fun times. But yeah, just, I mean, look at this picture, dude. How cool is this picture? But fun fight. Shout out to Peacock. This was his one debut. He's been making some noise on the MMA scene or the Muay Thai scene before this, and he fucking killed it, dude. It's just a complete showcase masterclass. Yeah.
Love the cowboy hat. All right. We made it.
That's all the fights we're covering.
That was it.
It's a long one, an hour and 45.
Austin, Blunderbub, Ganskow, Genevieve, of course. Colleen, Anonymous. Who else? Did I miss anybody?
I think that's it this episode.
Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah.
But it's always fun whenever everybody joins us live so we can chat MMA, chat about the fights. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Goes a long way.
Well, we got one
we
more
try
thing
to
to talk about still.
Oh, snaps! What?
And Rich has put it on screen already. 168 returned to Denver. One is coming back to the United States. They're coming back to the United States. They got Zhang Jinan versus Stamp for the main event. Stamp is going up a weight class to challenge for the belt. We got Haggerty versus Superlek. Are you kidding me? That's going to be insane. And then more big stuff to come on that card. Gansco says, who's all going to Denver? I think we all are. And if you're not, maybe this will get you hyped. Whoops.
Maybe.
Last year, we made history.
The biggest moment in the history of one championship.
The world's largest martial arts organization arrived in the U.S.
Welcome to the United States.
Superstars were born.
Look at this Denver crowd.
Legends cemented their legacies.
You guys want me to keep on fighting?
This September, the world's best are back. 168 Denver, live on Prime Video.
Bro, come on, dude. Come on. Like Gansco says, who's going to be there? He says he will be there. The QR code that's on the screen right now, if you scan that, it'll take you to the pre-sale. Visit.1fc.com/1168-presale. If you sign up for that, you can get tickets early. I think 20% off on tickets too. April 10th is when the pre-sale goes live. So jump on that if you're planning on going. And if you weren't planning on going and you just watched that trailer, you probably are now. Definitely recommend going. We went to, the first time they went to Denver back in May of last year, and it was fucking insane. That clip they show of Rodtang jumping into the crowd and the crowd's chanting Rodtang. He got the knockout over Edgar Juarez Tabarez, and he leaves, and then he comes back later, and when he walks through the tunnel, the whole crowd's like, Rodtang? And then it starts chanting Rodtang again, and he's jumping in the crowd. It's like, this is people in America, dude, watching a Muay Thai fighter chant. It was crazy to see, dude. It was so cool. But for sure, jump on that pre-sale, get the tickets 20% off. Obviously, you'll also have a earlier pick on like where to sit and shit like that. So
yeah,
dude, I highly recommend. We're all going. It's going to be sick. You could catch up with us out there too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. If we actually did like an SOF meetup, you know what I mean? Get a lot of
come on.
listeners and everybody together, and whether it's, at the event, we just take a picture together or something. It'd be pretty cool though.
Dude, it'd be so much fun. But yeah, for sure, jump on that. And then next week, what are we covering? The big one, huh?
Yes. Holy smokes, UFC 300.
Gansco says, I will wear merch. Dude, Gansco, if you wear a Story of the Fight t-shirt to the one in Denver, that would be fucking awesome. Austin says, Zhang versus Stamp is a great fight for the UFC. I see Zhang trying to make Stamp down. Take Stamp down for this, sure, but I predict most of stand-up battle will be a banger. Yeah, both of those fights are fucking bangers. I cannot wait. But yeah, next week, let me switch over to Rich, do you want to switch over to the other studio? Yeah, perfect. We have
the gold kind of match though.
The gold did match, but UFC 300. The poster, they've updated the poster to have the main card fighters on there. Absolutely hilarious. I say this with all due respect. Hilarious to have Cody Brundage on this poster with everybody else that's on it. But I know everybody's like, Bo Nickel on the main card. Are you serious? People should be more upset with the Brundage on this card, not so much Bo Nickel.
Classic.
But I mean, Brundage won his last fight because because Malkoun DQ'd himself, right? And now he's on the main card of UFC 300. But Ganscow says the UFC 300 promo yesterday on the broadcast may have been the best UFC highlight video of all time. Yeah, that shit got me hyped. That was incredible. With Keith David doing the narration. I mean, come on, dude. The Thing, the president from Rick and Morty. I mean, so cool. UFC 300. We are not going to be doing an episode Sunday morning.
No.
Correct? Yeah, we are not doing an episode for 300. Just kidding. We're doing one Monday night. So if y'all are used to being on the live stream for us on Sunday morning, we will be doing it on Monday night instead. It's so big, we need extra time to prepare the show. Monday night.
I like it. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Me too. And we've been doing this for 2 hours now, so let's get that here, huh?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We always have a blast whenever we have an opportunity to chat with everybody. And in case everybody was wondering who this is produced by, like who produces this podcast? None other than Richard Bustos, man. Richard Bustos for sure.